Dragons: Dawn of the New Riders is yet another Unity-made, Zelda-inspired adventure game. While that may sound like a put-down, this is actually a pretty sweet game. Now, your mileage will vary based on two things. Do you love these kind of adventure titles? You know, the top-down OG Zelda kind of adventure. And are you a fan of the How to Train Your Dragon films? I will say that I fall into one of those categories. I love these type of games. But I've never actually seen any of the How to Train Your Dragon films. What's nice is that this game is set in between the second and third film and tells its own story with its own original main character. Now, you're going to interact with all the characters from the film series, but I like that it does its own thing, so you don't have to be a fan of the films. Now, if you don't like the films, I'm pretty sure you're not going to enjoy this game, but I don't know. If you like the themes of the films, you'll probably enjoy it, even if you didn't like the execution of the movies. It definitely doesn't have all of the juvenile humor the films have, but it has that kind of touching and sweet, sincere story that the films have. I haven't seen them, but I've heard a lot about them. And I really enjoyed the writing in this game. Now, there's no voice acting, so they're keeping it OG up in this bitch. But I liked that. I'm not illiterate, so I have no problem reading, and as a matter of fact, video games were where I got my passion for reading. I grew up playing all of these kind of RPGs where you had to read through the entire thing, and I see that as a plus, not a negative. Again, your mileage may vary, because we all have different subjective opinions. But for my mileage, I like reading in games when the writing is done well, and the writing is done really well here. They really have a major passion for this franchise, and I got to tell you, it rubbed off on me so much I went and bought both two original films on Vudu just so I could see them eventually. I'm going to get around to it one of these days. And this game will be the main reason for that, because until this game, I had absolutely zero interest in the film series. But this game just is really fun. It's got a great balance of challenging combat and great puzzle design. The puzzles are never difficult. You'll definitely always figure them out, but they do require thought. Now, if you're a little one, you shouldn't be watching my videos. I'm too mature for you. But if you have little ones, they'll definitely be able to figure their way out through this game without getting frustrated, but they will have to think, and I like that. Those are good things, and it's something that I think is missing from games today. I'm not sure why thoughtful game design like this went out of style, and punishingly just rip your hair out game difficulty came in its place. Don't really understand that one. You can tell me that Dark Souls and those games require thoughtful playstyles all you want, but when one little mistake means you're fucked and up shit's creek and your asshole's bleeding, that's just not the game for me. As I said, my videos are too mature for you little ones, so click the hell out of here right now. Get the fuck out of here, you little brat! Ugh, God, these kids, oh my God. I mean, I know I like kids games, but I fucking hate kids. I'm just kidding, it's a gag. Chillax, people. As a matter of fact, let's chillax together. Ah, is that better now? Yeah, those little brats, they just get on your fucking nerves, don't they? And that's what I think about games like Dark Souls. They get on my nerves. Now, that's not to say this game is not challenging. Actually, for the age range that it's kind of aimed at, combat can get rather hectic and can definitely test your limits quite well. But it's not punishing, and that is the all-important factor. You always have enough health potions to tackle things, and you always have frequent checkpoints. Those are really important things. I know, I sound like the guy who's complaining about game difficulty, and the thing is, I like that games can be hard like that. I just do not see an even middle ground. Because games like Dark Souls could be really fun, but unless you're that kind of masochistic gamer, you're gonna have a bad time. Now, don't take such offense to that, because I do understand there's great satisfaction from facing those huge insurmountable odds, you know, from ripping your hair out and going bald playing the game until you eventually finally luck out. I understand that that's satisfying. I've played some games like that, and I get it. But I do not understand why the sense of fun is kind of evaporating from games today. We're seeing a resurgence with it, with games like Spider-Man, but for my money, I love games like Spyro. That's why I love the new trilogy. And I like games like this. As a matter of fact, it was Spyro that kind of got me into this game. Coincidental? I think not. Dragons are cool. But it was just the fact that I loved the colorful, charming sense that the Spyro games reminded me that, hey, that's what I liked playing games to begin with for. So I wanted to go back to that kind of mentality, and there just aren't many games like that on the digital marketplace, or as a matter of fact, kind of anywhere. Now, if you got a Nintendo Switch, you got some decent games like that, and there are some cool games like that on the computer. But if you're a PlayStation or Xbox gamer, the pickings be slim, guys. And girls, most of all, my fellow humans. Let's not try to ruffle too many feathers in this video. Speaking of feathers, the flight sections in this game are just an utter delight. And it's in those sections that I'm constantly reminded of one of the little touches that's in this game. It's featured in the Spyro Remake trilogy. And it's something that, again, I feel is missing from a majority of the games today. And that's great music. Oh my god, when was the last time you played a game that had really just great, memorable music? There aren't too many of them out there. I mean, yes, we have the franchises that are known for it, like Kingdom Hearts and such. But there are so many times I sit down and I play a new IP and I'm just like, you're missing a great musical score. That's important. I know that a lot of us are listening to our own custom soundtracks while we're gaming, but I like to be immersed into the game world, and a great score does that better than a lot of other things. I was really appreciative in The Division 2 that they took the time to create such an impressive and memorable score for that game as well. Now, this game does have the film's pedigree to go off of. I'm sure the films have a pretty great score as well. But just the fact that they created so many diverse musical tracks in this game is really outstanding. And it definitely makes those flying segments all the more enjoyable. Now, there's not a lot of combat, or any combat as a matter of fact, during those sequences. But when you're flying around, you get to explore the different islands, you get to see the world, and it's just a really nice kind of palate cleanser from the running, slaying, and puzzle solving that is the main meat of the game. Now, as I mentioned before, the puzzles are none too difficult. As a matter of fact, some older players will probably say they're downright easy. But I will always prefer common sense, logical puzzles that might be easy, but are always enjoyable to solve over obtuse, frustrating, I don't know what the fuck they're trying to tell me to do in this, but maybe if I hit every switch and just fucking fiddle around with everything in the room, I'll eventually figure it out. I'm not a fan of that kind of game design. I'm a fan of games that have boss battles that make sense. That you look at it and you go, okay, this is what I need to do to defeat it. Now, how do I accomplish that? I like game design to make sense. And most of all, I like game design to just be about fun. I enjoy every second of the boss fights in this game. As a matter of fact, I enjoy every second I've spent with this game. Are there little things here and there that I think could probably be improved? Yeah. I would say that the Unity engine made a pretty beautiful game, but had it been on the Unreal Engine, it would have looked better, especially with the wonderful art direction that these guys had. I mean, they did such a phenomenal job creating diverse dragons, creating diverse enemies. They really spent a lot of time pouring their hearts and souls and their blood, sweat, and tears into this game. And there's going to be some people who will shoot it down for being 3 to 6 hours long. And I know that it's only even 6 hours if you do every single thing in the game, which is all the little optional islands that you can explore. But I enjoy that, and a game doesn't have to last 10, 12, or more hours for me to love it. As a matter of fact, I've played a lot of games that overstayed their welcome. If I play a game like this that I'm having fun every second with, for my money, that is worth it. If I play a game that by the end of it I'm going, thank God it's over, maybe that wasn't so fucking worth it. Anyway, guys, it's been an utter blast talking with you and playing a fun game. We'll blaze up next time and talk about some more games. Later days.